Solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula. So in order to use the quadratic formula, we need to know what the quadratic formula is. Quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. There's the quadratic formula. So I need a's, b's, and c's. So in this situation, I have to make sure that it's equal to 0. I get an a. A is actually going to be the 16. Let's try to make that a little bit closer. Let's actually just label them. Let's say we've got here a is going to be 16. It's the number in front of the x squared. The b is going to be the 8, the number in front of the x. And the c is going to be the constant. So c stands for constant. And that's a negative 3, not a c. So then I really am just plugging stuff into the formula. If you're attacking this formula and you want to just plug information in, that's fine. I have always taught that you want to do the part right here first. That part is called the discriminant. It tells you a little bit more about what the equation looks like if you were to graph it. That's the part where people goof things up. So that's the part where I want to start. I want to make sure that I'm doing that part correctly. So I'm going to do b squared minus 4ac, which is 8 squared minus 4 times 16 times negative 3. 8 squared is 64. Negative times a negative is going to be a positive. The 4 times 16 is 64 times a positive 3. I already took care of the negative. 64 times 3 is 3 times 4 is 12, 6 times 3 is 18, 19, 192, 64 plus 192 gives me 256. Now that we have that, we can throw all of this into the rest of the equation. So I have this part goes underneath there, so I've got negative b, x equals negative b, which is negative 8, plus or minus the square root of 256, plus or minus the square root of 256, all divided by 2 times a, which is 16, 2 times 16. So then I simplify, keep going. I've got negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 250. Actually comes out to be 16, so I've got a 16 here. Divided by 2 times 16, well, 2 times 16 is 32. I don't have any square roots left, which means that there may have possibly been a simpler way to do this problem, but this is the way that we chose to do it, and so this is the directions told us to do it, so this is the way that we did it. On top, I've got the two separate problems. I've got the x equals negative 8 plus 16 over 32, and I've got the x equals negative 8 minus 16 over 32. Negative 8 plus 16 is 8. 8 over 32 reduces to 1 over 4. Negative 8 minus 16 is negative 24. Negative 24 over 32 reduces, 4 goes into both of them, gives us 6/8. Must be something else. 2 goes into both of those to give us 3/4. So into 24 32nds, we could have done an 8 goes into both of those. But go ahead and reduce it either way, any way that you want to. Solving using the quadratic formula, this time using the these quadratics with the actual quadratic formula. And then the last one, I want my a, b, and c, but in order to get them, it needs to be equal to 0, so I have to subtract 20x and add 3 to both sides. So I get 25x squared minus 20x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now I can say that my a is equal to 25, my b is equal to negative 20, and my c is equal to 3. I want to do the b squared minus 4ac part first. So I get b squared minus 4ac is equal to negative 20 squared minus 4 times a, which is 25, times c, which is 3. Negative 20 squared is 400. 4 times 25, that's 100. 100 times 3 is 300, so this is minus 300. 400 minus 300 is 100. That's the part that goes underneath the square root. So now I have, this was the other problem, x equals negative b, which is negative of negative 20, plus or minus the square root of 100, what we just figured out, divided by 2 times a, which is 25. Simplify that. Negative negative makes it positive. The square root of 100 is actually 10. 2 times 25 is 50. So again, I end up with two different problems here. I end up with x equals 20 plus 10 divided by 50, and x equals 20 minus 10 divided by 50. 20 plus 10 is 30. 30 over 50 reduces to 3/5. 20 minus 10 is 10. 10 over 50 reduces to 1/5. So I get 3/5 and 1/5. Solving quadratic equations using the quadratic formula.